stress and its impact on your health, well-being, longevity of life, and quality of life. That's what this video is about. I invite you to join us at one of our workshops where we discussed the impact that stress has on our health and well-being and better ways that you can manage it or handle it in your life. So join us. So continuing on with the stress talk, the neurotransmitters can change, and also the structural changes in our brain can happen as well. So if you're under chronic long-term high levels of stress, your hippocampus can shrink in your brain, which means that your ability to retain and store information can go down. So literally, you can start to have cognitive impairment if you have long-term high levels of stress. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for impulse control and also decision making. So high quality decision making goes down with high levels of stress. So another question to the group is, how many of you have made a bad decision after mindfully talking about it and meditating about it, talking it over with family and friends? Not a lot of you. So conversely, if you're operating at full tilt, beyond your capacity all day, every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we tend to make bad decisions. There's also a link between stress and weight gain. So as a health coach, I'm going to mention that. Going back to cortisol, the hormone that's long-term stress hormone, it tends to increase our appetite and cravings specifically for high-calorie, sugary, salty, and fatty foods. This sets us up for overeating. This sets us up for weight gain, which sets us up for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and a whole bunch of other things, osteoarthritis and things like that. So more likely to overeat if we're chronically stressed. Also, emotional overeating, largely because of the cortisol, but using food as a way to de-stress yourself or to cope is going to set you up for overeating and weight gain. The hormone ghrelin is responsible for increasing our hunger signals to our brain. And specifically, this is true for people who are chronically sleep deprived. So there's a fair amount of people, like other entrepreneurs that I talk to, that are chronically sleep deprived. And then they wonder why it's difficult to lose weight. When you're chronically sleep deprived, your ghrelin hormone increases, which again, it lends itself to overeating and weight gain. So ways to better manage stress: practicing mindfulness and meditation. This practice encourages us to focus, allows the brain to rest, focus on the current moment, and can break the cycle of negative thoughts. Mindfulness and meditation also help to put the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the chill and relax nervous system, in charge, as opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight nervous system. So your perception of stress will go down if you do mindfulness and meditation. And we don't need to be Zen masters for an hour a day in order to get the benefits of meditation. Even doing 3 minutes of meditation a day has been shown to have benefit in terms of reorganizing your neurotransmitters and decreasing your perception of stress. One of the things that I talk to my clients about pretty regularly is, if they're dealing with stress management, is, are you giving yourself buffer time in between things? Or are you going full tilt all day, every day, 365 days a year? And then you wonder why you might be stressed, irritable, highly anxious, or stressed out. The mind, the body, and the soul need to know from you it is time to work. And the mind, the body, and the soul need to know from you it is now time to rest or play. and recharge. If you take care of your body will take care of you. Physical exercise is also a powerful stress reducer. It releases endorphins, which naturally elevate our moods. Aiming for 30 minutes of exercise or physical activity most days of the week is a great goal. But as I tell my non-active clients, just aim for 10 minutes of extra physical activity per day because you got to start somewhere. If you have zero exercise, some is better than none. Eating healthy is also helpful in terms of reducing stress. So increasing foods like fatty fish that has omega-3 fats in it, which has been shown to help with reorganizing your neurotransmitters. Eating dark chocolate, which everyone likes to hear. That's a positive and beneficial thing in terms of reducing stress because it has flavonoids in it that enhance your mood, increase blood flow to your brain, and decrease inflammation. And then eating things like berries has high antioxidant content. So blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries can help with antioxidants. And the whole point of that with antioxidants is it helps to improve the integrity of your cell membrane. That's what an antioxidant is. It makes the cell membrane stronger so that it is less likely to be damaged over time. And if you take care of yourself on a cellular level, you'll be healthier over time. Nuts and seeds are packed with magnesium, which help with sleep, which help with muscle relaxation, which helps with stress. So almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds are all examples of those. Eating fermented foods, so foods like yogurt, kefir, and real sauerkraut. So not sauerkraut that is vinegar-based, but sauerkraut that is fermented, helps you metabolize your prebiotics into neurotransmitters, again, like serotonin and dopamine. It's the gut-mind connection. That's fermented foods. Leafy greens are helpful because they have folate in them, and folate is good for the brain. It's good for cell division so that you can repair your body at a faster rate. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the behaviors of stress management. So getting enough quality sleep. I talked about that a little bit. I can't overestimate the importance of getting enough sleep with stress management. Aiming for 8 hours of sleep per night is a wonderful goal. Have a good bedtime routine. Turn off your phone so that the blue light is not blaring into your eyeballs and causing you to stay up into the night. If you're listening to things from your phone, just turn your phone to grayscale. Have better social support networks. So I can't overestimate the importance of having a supportive social support network in terms of stress management. Ask for help from your family. Talk to your spouse or your partner in terms of what you need. Get some social support there. And then I talk about time management with my clients as well. I ask them to evaluate the tasks that they're doing. Is this task moving you forward in your life? Or is this just a task that you feel that you need to do because you did it yesterday? Being mindful about how we're spending our time is just as valuable as how we're spending our money. So in conclusion, stress, it does have a profound impact on health and wellness. It has a profound impact on our quality of life and our length of life. By understanding how it impacts our health and wellness and also implementing stress management strategies, it can help with reducing your perception of stress. So I am taking on new clients. I do offer a free consultation call if you want to learn more in terms of how I can help you reach your health and wellness goals. After this workshop, there will be an email sent out first of all, letting you know if you're the raffle prize winner, but also to invite you on a consultation call with me if you want to look into how I can help you with your health and wellness. So now I'm going to turn it over to Bill Merchant, who's the co-founder and CEO of Revolution Fitness. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for that, Becky. As Becky mentioned, my name is Bill Merchant, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Revolution Fitness. Our main focus at Revolution Fitness is taking care of physical, nutritional, and mental wellness for both military personnel and physical first responders. Um, with that, I find myself more often than not talking about physical fitness, breath work, cold plunges, nutrition, and how they can remove stress, heal the body, all that. But today I'm going to switch things up a little bit and talk a little bit more about changing your mindset and how doing so can actually remove stress in your life. Most of us are conditioned to think that stress is always a bad thing. It's something that we need to eliminate, something we need to avoid, something that we need to manage into submission. But what if we've been thinking about stress in an inappropriate way this entire time? Just like physical training, building muscles, strengthening the body, mental stress can be used to rebuild strength in our bodies as well. If used strategically in the right amounts, it can shift the mindset. And stress doesn't have to be something that breaks you. In fact, it can actually be something that builds you up and creates you into a stronger person. Um, with that actually said, there has been studies that show that people that experience moderate adversity throughout their life actually show greater physiological resilience and less emotional reactivity, as well as fewer symptoms to depression, anxiety, and it actually, when you have moderate stress in your life, and you use it appropriately, it can actually make you physically well as well. And I often get questions from people when I talk about stuff like this and shift the thought process on stress, and they're like, Bill, how is it possible that I can use stress to strengthen myself? And that's a great question. I love that, and I've actually turned this into a 3-step process. So step one is modifying how you think about stress. Our belief about stress can be more powerful than the actual stress itself. In a study of 29,000 US adults, they found that people who view stress as a challenge rather than a threat completely negate the negative effects of chronic stress on their longevity. And that states that people that live with stressful lives and actually focus on the stress are 43% more likely to die when they perceive that that stress is harmful to their health versus 17% of people who have learned how to take that stress and turn it into something they use for a positive. They actually have a 17% of those people only die from the stress itself. So that's a big shift from 43% to 17% of the people. And why is this something that's possible? And it's simply because of using the mindset of stress enhancement. It's a mindset that takes over many people's lives, causing them to increase the danger of averting stress. And what can happen is if you don't actually take the time and use the abilities to turn stress into a positive thing, you get stuck in that place of the washing machine where you're stuck in a cycle over and over and over. The good thing about this is you don't have to fall victim to this. You can train yourself to shift away from the side effects of stress in your daily life. And there's some specific ways that you can do that. When you modify your thinking around stress and think of it as helpful rather than harmful, that mindset change shifts your body's response to stress and your ability to deal with it. While the sympathetic nervous system that Becky spoke about still activates during stress, the physiological changes that you go through are more adaptive, and it strengthens you physically and mentally so that you can overcome those challenges on a regular basis. The goal isn't to eliminate this stress in your life completely. The way that I'm talking about doing things as far as a mind shift, it simply is meeting stress where it is in your life learning how to rise to that occasion and letting go of the stuff that's not necessary. Um, the second step that I use is creating a mindset for growth. Have you ever caught yourself thinking that I'm not good enough for this? I'm not built for this. This just isn't who I am, or maybe the opposite. This is just who I am. This is it. This is all I have. Those are program mindsets that we have learned over time that control our belief systems, our abilities, our preset, our personalities are what they are, and our health will never change. It's all set in stone. Each one of those things are a lie because every piece of that we're capable of changing if we choose to. The growth mindset is believing that you can improve any part of you that you dislike through effort, learning, and persistence. As you understand this concept more, it becomes less shocking that people who adapt to this mindset tend to be more resilient, less reactive to stress, and are mentally strong. In fact, research shows that individuals who believe that they can grow and adapt report fewer mental health issues and have a tendency in those times when those difficult moments approach in their life that they push through those throws without any issues and actually come out on the other side better people. Instead of shutting down during failure, try doing something like this. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? And a way to do that by shifting your personal way you talk in general, whether it's to others or to yourself about yourself, instead of saying something like, I can't, change it to something as simple as, I can't yet. So that process of throwing that one word yet in there tricks the mind into believing that you are in action and you are moving forward to becoming somebody who can do that thing that you before claimed you could not. Next time you bump up against a type of situation or thinking such as this, when you're feeling something feels hard, it feels unfamiliar, take a moment and pause, reframe the way you're thinking about the situation, and change this opportunity into something where you build skills and strength. I like to say it like this, like steel in the fire or gold that is purified through fire. We can only go through growth when we approach that discomfort situation and push through that comfort zone. Excuse me. By doing the things that are not easy to do, we actually become better at doing those things and start removing that stress around those difficult things. And that brings us to the next part of this conversation, which is step 3, embracing the discomfort. I am a man that has been sober for 8 years. I found a very difficult part of my life finding my connection to my personal faith for a period of time. And because of the process I've gone through with that, as well as leaving a 24-year career in the medical field to do what I feel God put on my heart, which is chase this nonprofit and take care of others who can't take care of themselves or haven't learned yet how to take care of themselves. I've faced a lot of this adversity and worked through a lot of this process of facing that difficult thing on a daily basis. I've learned that growth always lives just outside of our comfort zone. Most of us are wired to avoid the discomfort at all costs because it's hard and it hurts a lot. I hear a lot of guys or women as well through the sobriety process and trying to help people stay sober say things like, so what if I avoid the hard things? It doesn't affect that much. It doesn't affect me that much. The biggest downside to avoiding those hard things in their lives and pushing up against that discomfort means that they're always avoiding growth in their life. They're never actually pushing against that thing that's stopping them from becoming the better version of themselves they want to be. Whether you're forcing yourself to wake up early to go train, whether you're choosing to have that tough conversation with somebody about something that really you don't want to, or if it's just tackling that thing on the honeydew list that's been there forever that you keep looking at and it's driving you crazy every time you look at the list, but you never got it done. Choosing to do that hard thing creates a very important tool of what we call stacking small successes. Stacking those small successes in your life will help you turn um, your willpower into a more aggressive thing in your life. By amplifying that willpower, you start to begin that forward momentum that a lot of people see somebody else having, and they say, I can't do that. I wish I could do that. Well, that forward momentum is just like training your muscles in the gym. If you're not going to go in there and do it on a regular basis, you're never going to build those skills and that muscle in your brain and that ability to push beyond the I can't, and you're going to get stuck in that place. But when your willpower starts to grow, you use the effort and become a stronger person. You become a more confident version of yourself. You take on tasks in your daily life and at home without avoiding them. Then you start to become somebody that you're proud of, and your brain grows to govern the resilience. Um, a quick way of thinking about how to do something like that is trying to do something that's uncomfortable to you each and every day. Start with something small. Whatever that small thing happens to be, when you overcome that, you now have forward progress. And each time you do that, your mental toughness grows. And so, on the bottom line of all of this, I like to tell people that stress isn't easy to deal with. It doesn't mean that it's inherently bad, though. Um, it's all in how you choose to respond to the stress that really matters. And with the right mindset, the right practice, stress becomes the weight that strengthens your mind instead of breaking your mind. And it's not something that we're usually born with. It's something we have to build and train into ourselves. And so the next time you're tested, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and remind yourself this is a training and I'm becoming stronger and a better version of myself. And I too can push through this stress and use it to make me a better version of who I want to be each and every day. That's what I have for everybody today. I hope you guys got a couple of pieces of good stuff to put in your pocket for yourself or even for a loved one. I'd like to pass this on to Mr. Dr. Sergey Terrio. As Becky said, he is the owner of Alchemy Chiropractic here in Falmouth. And he is an amazing man. I am blessed to call him a friend. Sergey?
Thank you, Bill. That was great, and thank you, Becky, for having us on. And as Bill mentioned, my name is Dr. Sergey Terrio. I am a chiropractor, but I would say a lifelong student of you can call it health, wellness, just life in general. Is how can one be balanced in life? And when it comes to balance, of course, I think there are many aspects, but many of those aspects lead down the same road. And there's a few topics that Becky and Bill mentioned, and these are recurring topics that I'm also going to be talking about, which I think if anybody leaves with anything is a better idea of how to stay more relaxed, and the fact that relaxation and stress, relaxation can be attainable and stress is needed in life. It's just our perception, ideas, and concepts behind it. One thing Becky mentioned is the mind, body, and soul. And really, when it comes to helping a person or helping yourself, you have to look at yourself in a holistic manner, and that is mind, body, and soul. You can't separate one or the other and expect a holistic result. And holistic doesn't just mean eating fruits and vegetables. Like we mentioned, it means mind, body, and soul. And um, I like a lot of the ideas subscribed to, the Japanese and martial arts. And I'm going to show you guys a picture right here if you can see that. That is a Kyokushin saying, and that saying, I mean, I think it's got to be a few thousand years old. It says mind, body, one. It says mind, body, one. And whether stress comes from the mind or it comes from the body and the vice versa, when you help your mind and when you treat your mind, whether it's through meditation or certain perceptions and beliefs on attaining relaxation, or it's taking care of your body, whether through physical means like physical modalities like chiropractic, like acupuncture, like moving your body and exercising, like eating well, and like recuperation and sanitation, they all play a factor. So balance is balance. Now, one of the things that I hear the most as a chiropractor, of course, a few people come in for neck and low back pain, but I think the greatest thing that I hear now that being a chiropractor officially for 4 years is a lot of people, the first thing they report is how much more relaxed they feel or how much better their sleep is. That's usually the first thing, and then they're like, oh, my neck and low back feel better. So it almost leaves the question of, well, what heals the body and what's going on? What is the first thing that occurs before these physical symptoms come? And as you can see, a lot of these things which um, we can't even grasp physically or tangibly happen on a metaphysical level, meaning above, beyond, or beside the physical. And the better you can become at recognizing these cues within the mind and body, I think, obviously, the more knowledge one has, the more aware they become. And the more aware they become, the more balanced their life becomes in all of these aspects. Um, and if they don't know where physical is a good place to start. Now, um, I want to also bring the idea here that a lot of people, I feel like, don't really recognize what health really means. And all I'm going to say is health is just a normal state of the body. Health is a normal state of the body, whatever health means to you. And in the normal state of the body, the normal state is the body's relaxed and calm. And talking about a Japanese philosophy and everything like that, there was an Aikido master by the name of Kuichi Toei. He was one of the guys that brought, Aikido to the mainstream back in the early 1900s. And you can call him enlightened or illuminated. I mean, he was a guy that definitely knew some stuff. And one of the principles that he taught was relaxed strength. So what does that mean? Relaxed strength means, well, you're stronger and you're more resilient when you're relaxed. And it's not so much like if if you go to shake someone's hand and you're really tense, that's actually weak. Or if you go to shake someone's hand and then you're too relaxed, well, that's weak in itself. So he said there's a balance, a normal, which is relaxed strength, which that idea alone, as we can see, can ideas manifest in the body. And concepts and beliefs that manifest in the body, and the idea of relaxed strength can go a long way. Um, on a physical level, since I do see a lot of these metaphysical, um, whether it's emotions or feelings represented in the body on a physical state, I want to share with you guys as a starting point to maybe as a way to check in within the body. And there are zones of the body, and the zones of the body relate to different systems of the body, much like a well-functioning city or town. You have the sewage, you have the electrical grid, you have all these systems working together. So I'm going to share my screen, and as a way to clue you in, guys, on some body cues. Every single cell in the body if you take every single cell in the body and you had to put it into the most basic form and the most basic systems, you have these six systems of the body. Now you have the glandular system, as you guys can see, the eliminative system, the nervous system, the digestive system, the muscle system, and the circulation system. Now, these systems on a conscious level or and a subconscious level, whether you're aware or not aware, they all work in harmony. And zone one here is controlled, it's the glandular system. So there's over 200 glands in the body. So this is how's your memory, how's your energy, how's your sleep, how's your relaxation, it says right there. How's your immune system? How's your appetite? Um, these are the normal functions of the glands of the body. Now, zone two is the eliminative system. So, how are the lungs, the kidneys, the bladder, the colon, the bowel movements, the sinuses, bronchial tubes? Are you eliminating toxins properly from the body? Um, Zone three is sleep, mood, ability to remain calm, balance, the hormonal system. When this is in balance, you have a healthy immune system function. And of course, as Bill and Becky mentioned, is the actual peripheral and autonomic nervous systems. And I'll come back to it, but zone four is the digestive system here. So this is how's your weight? Are you at a normal weight? And what does normal mean? What's a weight that feels good for you? Do you feel healthy? So balance and normal means, well, when you're normalizing something, if somebody's overweight, they're going to lose weight. If somebody's underweight, they're going to gain a little weight. Um, how's your appetite? How do you taste food? How's your liver, intestines? Are you digesting foods properly? That you want to eat. Zone five is the muscle system. So all the muscles, tendons, ligaments, how's your range of motion, movement? How's your muscle recovery? How's your strength, flexibility, and how's your center of gravity and balance? And then the last system is the circulation system. So, blood pressure, heart function, lymphatic function, um, normal blood pressure, um, and of course, circulation leads to proper temperature and flow control. So as you can see, it's part of it is also waste product elimination. So the reason I bring these zones up is because I think it removes any like Grey's Anatomy. If you guys know Grey's Anatomy, there's everything and anything in there. So these systems cover pretty much everything. So if you do just a check-in on your body, that's a good way to check in to see if your body is functioning well. And I just like this quote, balanced body is a body that heals, feels great, and functions great. So let me stop the sharing screen here. So as you guys can see, these the physical aspect is zones. The mindset aspect is what are my ideas and concepts behind certain things. And cueing in yourself, cueing in your body and mind is what do I need to do? What are some things that need attention, or what are some things that I'm doing well already that I can just stay on the track and keep doing? Um, I'm gonna leave you guys with a couple of action steps, and these are just natural laws of the body. Is number one is the law of nourishment. Number two is the law of movement. Number three is the law of recuperation. Part of recuperation is recreation. So a lot of people work, but they don't do any recreation, meaning play. What are you doing for fun? Like, what is making you happy? What are you doing for fun? And then the last law is the law of sanitation is internal and external sanitation. And these laws, I'm going to bring up about a book that if anybody wants to look up this book, it's available on Amazon, I think for like 15 or 20 bucks. And it covers the topics that I just covered and some of the topics that Becky and Bill also covered. And this book is called The Rays of the Dawn. It's on the natural laws of the body, mind, and soul. It was written in like the 1950s, I believe. And those laws that I mentioned to you, those are the natural laws of the body. Now, there it's also covering the laws of the mind. So some of the laws of the mind, some people will look at them as more of the negative, And then the laws of the soul, some people would attribute those to more positive attributes like patience, hope, faith, aspiration, duty, etc. And as previously mentioned, that's a great tool that I recommend to my patients who are looking to just keep themselves balanced in all aspects. So with that being said, I want to thank Becky for letting me talk, and I am located in Falmouth, and I'll be raffling away consultation and talk as well. So um, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill and Dr. Sergey Terrio, for participating in the important discussion of stress and its impact on our health and wellness, and how better to manage it or channel it in a positive way into our life. Bill, will you give me a number between 1 and 18?
Between 1 and 18. How about 7?
7?
Yeah.
Number.
Okay, so Lori is the winner of the raffle prize. So Lori,
Whatever.
so so you got a supply of collagen for brain health, for digestive health, for skin health, donated by our friend Odell Bowman. She sells Life Bandage. And I was doing a name drop to support her business on this workshop. So you'll get a supply of that. And then also, Dr. Terrio has offered a free visit in his office in Falmouth for you to come in and get it. Is it eval, Dr. Terrio, or is it treatment?
Yeah, it'll zone eval and treatment and yep,
Yeah.
consultation. Yep.
Yep. So located right in Maine in Falmouth. So that's you're the winner. So I will give you the collagen, and then in an email, I guess, is how I'll demonstrate that you are welcome to go to see Dr. Terrio in his office. We can open it up for questions if anybody has questions. I heard someone clearing their throat. Do you have a question? What did you guys learn from the workshop? Did you take anything away from the workshop?
Yes, Becky, I did. A reminder of what I already know, but I just need to put it into practical application.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned, about how you can make stress work for you,
Mm-hmm.
Instead of against me, for myself,
Absolutely. Anyone else take anything away from this workshop that is beneficial and useful?
Oh, yes, so much. This is one of my favorite topics, health and wellness. Somebody just said we know so much about this stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and it can be reinforced and reinforced, but when the rubber meets the road, it's about, whether we're implementing these healthy practices into their life. I know Becky and I met just about having an accountability partner. Something that can keep you on track with doing what you know to do.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the major takeaways for me from this is what Bill had to share about embracing this stress. And I like the idea of kind of not, clinging to things at the same time, not having it like an aversion to them. Just with a lot of things, just sort of accepting the fact that these are, and that inherent in them is not necessarily a negative and not necessarily a positive. It just is. And sometimes stress or negative emotion, or whatever the case is, or complicated modalities might be my reality in that moment. And rather than judging myself or shaming myself or getting into some type of guilt or shame complex that I'm imposing on myself, which is completely counterproductive, I can embrace it. And obviously, I don't want to indulge, in that too long. But I think it's important to honor that, we all are painting the same palette. Some of those colors are darker than the the others. But so I really appreciate you sharing that, Bill. Big takeaways from all three of you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciated how your messages complemented one another too. Like, not resisting the stress can actually make you stronger. Felt a lot like this holistic view and the idea of the handshake being strong and being, I'm not saying it as well as you did, relaxed or something. It
Relaxed strength, relaxed strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that really resonates too,
Yeah.
as well as needing to do more meditation.
Yeah. Meditation is the foundation for a lot of clarity, in my opinion. It gives you a lot of clarity. Any other takeaways or questions?
I'll go ahead. Can you all hear me? You can because you're nodding.
Yep.
I am a meditation teacher training and advanced.
Yeah.
My views on stress have altered as I've gone, which has been fascinating. I originally looked at the whole stress deal when I was working shifts and I had to be awake at 3 a.m. every night. Every night for world without it seemed like forever and a day. And I think my association with the word is still laid under that original view, which I have been undoing ever since. So thank you for mentioning that obstacles can also be a gateway, a doorway, and a gateway to something, to something improved, or that in and of itself, they aren't necessarily something to be averted. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any lasting thoughts or before we sign off?
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, it was excellent.
I guess I have one shameless plug I'll put in here. If you folks happen to know any military personnel, friends, families, people you run across, first responders that are going through very difficult moments, they don't know what to do. Maybe you don't know how to help them. Becky does have my information, and she is more than free to share that with any one of you if you'd like. I love getting an opportunity to sit down with any of these people, getting a chance to hear what it is they're going through, what it is they need, and seeing if there's a way that I can direct them to the proper services that they need. If there's one thing that I've noticed between being in the medical field and now stepping out and walking into this world that I'm in now, there are way too many people out there that believe there's no help out there, and they feel like they have to handle this all on their own. And there's that's the exact reason why Revolution Fitness exists. We're about building a community. We're about taking each piece, people like Dr. Sergey, people like Becky, people like myself, and probably people like many of you, putting them together and making this a holistic piece of taking people from that place of feeling like there's no hope, and bringing the light back to their life and giving them a purpose again. So if you know any of those people in your life or around you that are maybe in a bad place, or maybe they're not even in a bad place, they could just use a little nudge in a certain direction to make their life a little better, let Becky know, and I would love to reach out to any of them and help them.
Thank you.
Yep. So I'm recording the majority of this workshop anyways. And I'm going to be posting it on the YouTube channel that I have. And so you guys can watch the replay, and I'll be making sure that I include pathways to get to Revolution Fitness and pathways to get to Dr. Terrio's practice as well, so that if you're interested in learning more or sending people to them, that you'll have a way to get there, to make contact with them.
Great.
So I think that's all for now. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to Bill and Dr. Terrio for helping me to put this on. And I will see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Good to see everybody.
You.